Welcome back to the Playmaker's Corner podcast. I am one of your hosts, Kodey Stoffer.
And I'm your other co-host, Simon Villanos.
And today we're going to be changing things up a little bit. We are going to have an interview with Martin Ibarra, offensive lineman for UNC, and talk about his journey through the junior college system out in California. But first, we're going to change things up a little bit. We are actually going to watch the film while recording today, so you're going to have our live reactions for the first time yet, and then we're going to break it down a little bit. Simon, are you ready to watch some film?
Yeah, let's do it. It's lineman film, so I love it.
All right. Is that full screen for you?
Yeah, you're good. Go ahead.
Sweet.
6'5", 320.
First team all conference.
He played in California, right?
Yep.
Okay.
He said his show wasn't featured on Last Chance U.
Not at all.
Yeah. Good double team there. Finishes the block.
It's a big defensive lineman, too.
Yeah.
It's not like he's going up against scrubs. Way to use
he just throws him down there. That guy was a lot smaller than him, but that's strength. All right. Good first step here, and just throws him to the ground.
Nice. Look,
coming in from the side there.
Just a little bit, yeah.
All right, so one guy misses his chop, and he finishes up there on that screenplay.
To be aware.
Something that I noticed the first time watching through this is he's all over the field as far as position.
He moves pretty well for someone who's 6'5", 320.
Yeah.
That was nice. It could have been a cleaner block, but that was nice, though.
Yeah. There he goes, finishing a block again. We always like to see that. Here he is at guard this time. And he's pulling, lead blocker, nails his guy. That's his block, and he got there. He's doubling here. And I think guard here again. Gets the block here and finishes it. We love pile driving.
Oh, yeah, he finishes his block well. He finishes his block well.
Yeah, he's usually over somebody by the end of a play. So here he is at tackle, taking care of his guy, doesn't let him go.
I don't know what the running back was doing.
Yeah, missed the hole on that one. Just a down block on that one. Gets his guy. A little bit of communication there. Here at left tackle. I think this is pass play. Yep.
It is.
His guy doesn't even get close.
Yeah.
Oh, man, the quality of this film sometimes dips down
a little bit. Oh, well.
All right, double team here and finishes him to the ground. There he is in the middle. His guy never even gets close. Chop block there. He has a pretty quick first step.
Yeah.
So that was the one you were talking about where that guy came off, but I think a running back was back there.
Okay.
I got to watch those hands on that backside.
Yeah, just a little bit, but he'll be okay.
Yeah.
He just needs to
actually
finish
gets his
the
hands
block.
on two people there on that one, on that pass block. Oh,
nice.
Clean.
Yeah, that was good. Way to fight off those hands.
Pretty sure he finishes that block. Yeah. High motor on these blocks. Gets that guy out of the way just barely, but I think he could have pushed him out of the way on that play.
Yeah, he should have extended and finished him there, but that's okay.
Yeah, let's see. He's out here at tackle. Good pass block.
Yeah, pass block is solid. Really good, actually.
Ooh, he barely got that block, but he got there.
Yeah, I'll give it to him.
He's responsible for that play being sprung. There he is. I thought he was blocking the ref when I first watched that.
Yeah, that was pretty close.
He's just so much stronger than these. Even, like, obviously when these edges go up against him, I don't think that they stand much of a chance. And these linebackers, they don't stand any chance. But even some of these bigger defensive linemen, he does a pretty good job of driving them back.
Right.
There he is right here on a pretty big dude. Finishes that block into the ground. I think that was a pull, too.
Well, no, it wasn't a pull. He was the right tackle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next to the tight end, number 99 on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Gets his hands on the guy and just long enough.
A way to get out there, though.
Yep. Oh, there he goes, finishing another block. Leading on this outside play, and he gets his guy, and the running back has to make a move on that corner.
Right.
That's a one-on-one situation, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he probably could have moved over to the corner for sure. But that guard was definitely struggling, though, with that block, so
yeah.
Smart play. Dang, look at that snap, though. What was that? Jeez.
Oh, man. This team's pretty raw overall, but I feel like he's the best player on the field looking at these plays. And that's it.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't say he's super raw. Like, I think pass blocking wise, he's very good. You know, especially guys with some of those quicker hands, because there are some dudes coming off the edge that definitely challenged him. Not in a bad way, but obviously, you know, they seemed high caliber, like quicker finesse guys, and he stood up with them. You know, he kept his base. You know, he fought with it, and I mean, he didn't bite or wasn't super slow, so he did a great job on pass plays for sure. I would say that's definitely one of. I mean, I don't know. I need to see whole games, but I think that's definitely a strength for sure.
Yeah, I think his first step on his pass plays was really good, honestly. Like, and I feel like that's a really hard thing to coach too, especially with, like, you know, this day in football where, like, the spread is becoming more common and stuff. And
right.
I felt like this JUCO team ran the ball quite a bit, honestly. And it was good to see him like be good at both things, you know, and he could do anything that was asked of him, it looked like, whether he needed to play right or left tackle, right or left guard, whether he needed to pull in or out. I want to get to pick his brain a little bit about the chops on whether they were design or whether it was his own call, because if it was his own call, he made a lot of smart calls as to whether to chop or block.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, here, I'm going to nitpick a little bit here because he did make some really good chop blocks, and that's fantastic. But there are definitely a couple plays on this reel where I would have liked if he didn't jump the gun as quickly and like tried to make contact first or shuffle down and then, you know, try to make contact first. And most of them are running plays, I'm pretty sure. So I would have liked to see him get his hands on a guy and like just blow him up straight up instead of try to beat him to the punch and chop block him instead. Because sometimes with the chop block, you know, some edge rushers, well, not some, but a lot of edge rushers will probably anticipate that and probably take a wider path to avoid the chop block and then just move around you. So I would have liked to see him trust his speed and agility a little bit more, try to finish off those blocks, because there are definitely a handful of chop blocks in that highlight reel that, you know, he just barely got. And maybe he made the right call there and he knows that he's not like, you know, the fastest dude in the world. But, you know, if he angled right, he probably could have got it. If he angled right, you know, where it's all about positioning with those type of plays, because there were like sweeps and stuff like that as well. And I think I saw one counter, but I could have been wrong. So, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think that I feel like his chops sometimes come because of not the perfect angle or not the right amount of speed, especially like on those screen plays where we saw a couple of more chops, like those outside screens or even like outside reverses. It looks like sometimes he, like on that one play where he just barely nicked that guy in like the leg, and that was enough, you know? So, but like you said, just whether it's a different angle or a different flight path, I guess, to get to that guy, maybe that makes a difference. But I'm not really sure on, you know, what this offense is, right, or anything like that. But
yeah, for sure.
If there is anything to point out, it is that, and maybe just like not an overwhelming amount of speed. But as far as like quick snap goes, you know, in like pass plays, he was fast enough there, but maybe just not a guy that you send to pull out as much or send out on blocks, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, probably not. I think I don't know. I'd like him as a left tackle for sure. I don't know what he plays at UNC. Do you know, Kodey?
Pretty sure he's a guard.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't know. Like, he could probably still do his job as a guard on the FCS level for sure. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sure he does his job well enough, right? Because that's obviously JUCO film. Like, I guess he's still a kid now, but like he's basically a kid, at that age, right? Like 19, 20-ish maybe.
Yeah, and I'll make sure I got to get more on his story. I'm saving a lot of that for the interview.
Yeah, and that'll be really good to hear for sure. But yeah, I mean, honestly, like I feel like just natural talent wise, there's not, when it comes to offensive linemen in college, you're not gonna get the most technically sound dude coming out of high school, because that's just not, I don't know. I feel like it's just not realistic sometimes,
Especially at the high school level, I think.
No.
At
You're
the lineman,
big.
yeah, at the lineman position, I'm doubling down on that. I know that the listeners haven't heard my view on this before, but we've talked about it too. Finding a lineman that's like going to be a pro prospect from high school, it's not the same as like athletes, Like there's development that is absolutely needed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, honestly, when you're looking for a D1 lineman, first off, you want the prototypical size. So, I mean, it depends for each position, but usually it's like, above 5'11" or at least 5'11", and then obviously if you're a freshman coming in, you got to be at least 250, 260 to make D1, and everything else could really be taught. And obviously if there's good like agility and power there, those are all pluses for sure. So those are kind of some of the general things that D1 coaches are looking for. And then everything else, I mean, it just comes down to them trusting their own line coaches, who are honestly one of the more vital coaches when it comes to coaching staffs. Like most people want a good O-line coach, because like obviously you got receivers and quarterbacks, and those coaches are important, but nothing could get done without a good O-line coach. So
Simon about to get me fired.
what do you mean?
Trash talking wide receiver coaches, bro.
I'm not trash talking. I mean, look, bro, like there's always going to be wide receiver coaches, because there are just more. Maybe there's not, but I feel like there's more wide receivers than linemen.
Yeah, I'm just giving you a hard time, but no,
Yeah.
for sure. I want to see, maybe some of the things that he had in high school as far as an offensive line coach, and then maybe he had more in like individual time with a O-line coach at like the JUCO level, maybe, and maybe that was the difference between like going and playing D1 after JUCO rather than straight out of high school, or whether that was something else. But yeah, I'm really excited to get his perspective, because he'd be the first inside perspective we get on junior college. So, and that experience.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be great, and I look forward to it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't think there's really anything else. Like, I feel like he has really good size for an O-lineman. Like, it's not every day you find a JUCO guy that's 6'5", 320.
Yeah.
That's real, like, rare, I feel, sometimes, because some of them JUCO guys, you really never know. I think he's definitely closer to 320, because there's some guys that don't look their weight either. You could even take away 20 pounds and he'd still be fine. So that's how he's more than okay,
Yeah. I mean, I feel like size and strength wise, you could see that he was a mismatch at the JUCO level, I mean,
yeah,
he did block a handful of defensive linemen on this highlight reel that were closer to his size. But I'd say even then, it looked like he had some size on them, and he's able to convert that size into strength too. It's not lopsided in any way.
Oh no, absolutely. And I think, honestly, I felt like, can't say this enough about his pass blocking, but I feel like he had a very nice combination between strength and agility when it came to pass blocking. You know what I mean? Like, he moved his feet relatively well. Maybe he didn't get out there all the time because like he couldn't, but it's still pretty above average. Pretty good, to be honest, for a JUCO guy for sure. So at least pass blocking wise. Run blocking wise, like he was really good as well. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Some of those chop blocks made me a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I know it's a highlight reel, so it's gonna be good either way. But it's like, yeah, like trust your speed a little bit more, you know. And maybe that's a maturity thing too, because some, like, obviously all young players struggle with confidence or in one way or another. So maybe he just didn't, like, I don't know, maybe he didn't know how to position himself, or he just didn't think he could get there when he definitely could have. You know, but that's something that comes with experience. Like, I don't know, like, you could teach that, but it comes with a lot of repetition. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sweet. What's his year, by the way? What class is he?
So he's a senior, but he's not going to play this year. He got surgery, and he's graduating. So,
well, if he has aspirations coaching, I can't offer him a job. You might over at your high school, but yeah. All right. Well, you know, all the best of luck to him. He seems like, from what I've heard from you, he seems like a really nice guy, and I'm very thankful that he's going to be able to come onto this podcast and whatnot. You know, hopefully he could teach us a little bit as well. I'm always down to learn.
Absolutely.
I'm not like an O-line expert by any means. I don't know. I know a little bit about it for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
No, I'm more of a defensive guy anyways, so.
That is true.
Yeah.
That's your bread and butter, but.
Pretty much.
Yep. We're very excited to have Martin coming up next, actually. Interview with Martin Ibarra. Welcome back to the Playmaker's Corner podcast. I'm your host, Kodey Stoffer. Here with me today is a very special guest, my boy Martin here. We've been through quite a bit as far as classes go, like finance, but really glad to have Martin on here. Martin, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself, just kind of like what you're studying, your experience in sports, and why you're on the podcast today.
What's going on, everybody? So my name is Martin. I'm actually from California, born and raised from San Fernando Valley. I went to Kennedy High School, played football there 4 years, went to junior college for 2 years, and then, ended up getting recruited out at UNC, University of Northern Colorado, and I finished my career here. And, I'm 22, going on to 23 this year, and very blessed family, blessed around my friends. Kodey was a big part why a lot of my classes went the way they did, thankfully. But awesome dude. I want to thank you guys too for having me on here. So it's,
Yeah, we're grateful to hear your story, and the aim of our podcast is to reach some younger athletes. So hopefully through your story and your experiences playing high school and college ball, it helps provide a path for some of them. So,
Yep.
But something that we like to do anytime we have a guest is just like a little personal fun thing is, what is your favorite experience or memory playing sport? So it could be a specific game, it could be a specific season, it could be a specific moment. Like if you hit somebody and they like flew out of bounds or something because you just rocked them, which we saw sometimes on that highlight reel, and we'll talk about that here in a sec. But.
All right. High school. High school was so much fun, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, we weren't that great of a team, but hey, we definitely made the most of it. My favorite part of, my favorite moment was we played against a team called Granada High School, which was our rival. I will never forget, both of the stands, everybody just started lighting up their phone and waving it back and forth. And by the time I realized, like, I'm just looking around in shock, like, wow, not only is the crowd going crazy, we're on TV, like, this is, what else can I ask for? This is awesome. And man, that was just one of the best moments I've ever experienced during my football career.
Sounds exciting.
Oh, yeah.
I can see that smile. So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But that sounds awesome, and but those fond memories are a huge reason why people either stay in sports or stick to sports, whether it's career or reminisce on them. So we appreciate you sharing that.
Most definitely.
Now, the one thing that Martin and I do not necessarily agree on is the teams that we root for. I'm sitting in the same room as a Raiders fan, but I'll forgive you.
Oh, I forgot about. Oh no!
But
Damn. Yep.
I just wanted to say another fun thing that we like to talk about is what is your favorite sport experience that you've seen? So once again, that could be live. It could have been something that you saw on TV that was hype, or something like that.
Man, actually, it's funny that we came down to that subject, but was a Raiders game, actually my first and only one I've ever been to. I think approximately maybe 2-3 years ago, but my uncle tells me, hey, like I got some tickets, surprised me. I was ready to go, jacked up. I was able to see Marshawn Lynch, Khalil Mack, everybody played with some of my favorite players. But no, that was definitely one of the best times I've had, and to be able to see a team in person, that was awesome experience. There was when I went to go see Oregon versus FSU, but man, that was a crazy experience too. But I think the Raiders, that's my team. Sorry, Kodey, but it is what it is.
no hard feelings for sure. But I mean, seeing your favorite team versus like two neutral teams, it's a world difference. And I bet it was. And did you see that at the Coliseum in Oakland?
Mm-hmm. So I saw it in Oakland, and thankfully before they obviously now they're at Las Vegas, but I was able to be there when I seen them when they were in Oakland. So that was awesome. It was dope.
Sweet deal.
Yeah.
So I guess just some more follow-up questions as far as football. How long have you been playing football?
So man, it's a funny story, bro. Like, so I actually started my 8th grade year, but do we have time for story time?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Let's hear it.
All right. Funny story, man. So my 8th grade year, my uncles are, hey, you're a big dude, play football, this and that. And I wasn't really like, football dude. Actually, I used to play soccer. And believe it or not, I used to play soccer for at least like 8-10 years. So, it was a big difference. Like I never,
That's a huge transition.
Yeah, huge transition. So
completely different worlds.
And I know I'm big, but hey, man, I used to be able to move, believe it or not. But, yeah. So my 8th grade year, man, I'm like, okay, I'll try it out. My uncles are telling me, hey, play football, man. You're big, you're strong, you can move around. I'm like, all right, cool. And obviously with the soccer skill part, I have feet and I can move around. So I was all right, cool. So it's funny. I get to my first practice. It was with Chatsworth Chiefs, and the coach immediately tells me, "Nah, like you're gonna be with the bigger dudes." So I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." Like I'm happy. I think me and my mom spent the whole day. We went to go get a checkup. What you got to do to make sure you're able to practice and all that nonsense. So we end up getting there. I got my new cleats. I'm happy. I'm excited going to practice. And I think I didn't even last 15 minutes where I started getting screamed at. And I think I left so fast, started crying to my mom.
Oh, man.
So I started crying. I was like, nah, like, I have a headache. I can't do this. Like, nah, this is not for me. Blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, man. Since that day on, I was like, nah, I'm not playing football. So I literally put that to a hold. Now I'm entering high school. So in my freshman year. I can't go too much into detail, but there was one day I got in trouble for something, and I go into the principal's office, and she's telling me, hey, like, it's either you go with the police or you play football. So I was like, that's not a hard choice. So all right, I'll play football. I kid you not, the next day I'm literally like talking with the coaches. They have me on JV. It's my freshman year. They see how big I am, and they're just like, all right, like, hey, let's get this dude going. So get fitted. Boom, you gotta last the 2 days in helmets, whatever it was, and 3 days in pads. And so yeah, man, that's where my journey started in my freshman year. And weirdly to say, but if I would have never gotten in trouble or the way I did, I don't think I would have been where I'm at right now. And it's just crazy the way God works, and he works in mysterious ways. So I do believe in God. So I things like that is just doesn't happen, and I feel like it happened for a reason. So yeah, as my time started going, you know, I'm playing football. It's my JV year. It's awesome. And believe it or not, my first year, I never even played offensive line. I literally played kicker to kick the ball. Yeah, so I didn't start actually hitting people till like my 5th game, where coaches were like, all right, this dude's too big to not be like playing and stuff. So yeah, I started, they had me at D-line, started playing O-line. After that, my sophomore year, coaches talked to me, the varsity coaches moved me up. So yeah, from there, sophomore, junior, and senior year, started getting a little bit more exposure. Really, when I started, taking this serious was my junior year. I started going to more camps, UCLA camps, Fresno State camps, a bunch of camps, and I actually, the beginning of my senior year, I had Colorado State, and I actually had, what was the other team? I can't think about it top of my head, but I had 2 teams come to see me at school, and it was just like, wow, like, this is real. Like, I can't believe this. You just can't wait to go home and start telling your mom and your dad about it. And it was definitely an experience. Like, it was awesome. Now, reaching into my senior year, I'm not getting those coaches anymore. And I believe it was just because, one, I'm playing at a high school that's not very known. Coaches weren't too helpful. I love my coaches, my high school coaches, but it's just something for me that if I did want to get exposure, it wasn't going to be there. I needed to go to a different spot. And I did get offered those spots, but we had to do some other stuff that just would have took too much to do. And plus my sister was going to my high school as well. So it was more it's beneficial for me, for my family. So yeah, man, senior year, we're going, and you're talking about Kennedy High School. We haven't been in playoffs in over 7 years.
Oh my gosh.
So I was just, and believe it, our team that year we had everybody to go and do it to get into playoffs at least, and we did. We made it to playoffs. We lost second round. But hey, I'm able to say I got Kennedy High School into the playoffs, so which is really, really cool. And from there, I started realizing that coaches weren't coming through. That I kind of sat on and was like, hey, well, nothing's going on, so I'm kind of a little worried because school is almost coming to an end. Now and let me backtrack a little bit. So from my junior and my senior year, Los Angeles Valley College, which is a junior college in North Hollywood, those coaches were, I kid you not, probably there every day after school, just waiting on me, calling me. And as a high school kid, you're not even thinking about junior college. You want to go into Division 1 or D2, the lowest. But as a high school kid, you're playing so good, and you're the star in high school, that you don't see yourself going to junior college. So I made a huge decision, and the coaches were on me, and I love these coaches to death, and I made the decision, and I went junior college route. So I actually had signed to the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff, and then I decommitted. So I actually signed at school my senior year. I was going there. I actually got word from one of my old JUCO teammates that literally, in quotes, said, "Bro, do not go there because you will not like it." Quote. So I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go there. And one, I already had signed without taking a visit, so I was going in there blind. So I was like, nah, that's not gonna happen. Thankfully, like I said, the Los Angeles Valley coaches were already on me, and then that's when I entered Los Angeles Valley College. So
that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
How was that? This is a little bit off track.
Yeah.
But how was that decommitting process? Like, is that like a common thing, or was it something easy to do, or I guess how did you have to go about that?
So you got time for another story?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
That's what we're here for, you know.
All right.
Gotta help the kids.
Sounds good, man. So I'm Mexican. I'm Latino. I was actually my senior year. So a little backtracking again. It's my senior year, the beginning of it. Actually, that game, the one I was talking about at the beginning of the podcast, of where the stands was lighting up and everything. That same day, my father got deported. That same day, that morning. It was a hard time. It was a hard time for me and my family. Definitely something I will never forget, because if anybody has ever gotten one of their close family members, father, mother, brother, whatever, taken away from them because of the government, whatever, it's hard. And, you know, I was coming in every single day to my house and seeing my family in tears, and, you know, now you gotta be the man of the house. And it's tough when you're in high school, because, you know, all you're thinking is, oh, I gotta quit football, I gotta quit school, I gotta go work, I gotta help my mom, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, and it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. So that's what I was going through my senior year. And those close people that know me, I know this is actually probably new news for Kodey. Like, he's never really, you know, we've interacted, we're really good friends, but we've never really gotten this personal. But I know that if I'm able to talk about this, I know I can help somebody out there. And as not only for a Mexican person, but other people, African Americans, whoever it is, that, you know, if one of their parents or loved one is an immigrant, and sometimes you got to deal with those things. It is what it is. But like I said, my senior year, I was going through that struggle. It wasn't easy. You know, not only you got to focus on the field, but when you go back home, it's a whole different atmosphere. So when it came down to decommitting, I had to make a choice. It was either, you know, I leave my family, or I stay here for a little while to help my family out. And it was no question. Family's first before anything. So it was very tough. It was very tough because my dad, even over the phone, my dad just consistently telling me, like, Martin, go to school, do what you got to do, don't stop. Like, not because I'm not here or not with you guys, but just keep going. Like, nah, Dad, like, this is just not gonna sit on me well. Like, I'm not gonna ever leave my family like that. So yeah, that's what really. It wasn't even like like anything to think about. It was just a bam. Like, I'm done. I'm gonna go the junior college route. And like I said, it was really a school that I wasn't really too interested in, but it was the only Division I school that did offer me. And when it came down to the coaches understood it. You know, we communicated, and, you know, they understood why I decommitted. And it was just a big part of it was just my family, man. That's the biggest thing. I would die for my family, and it's a family for me, my sister, my mom, and my dad. Thankfully now, thank God, you know, he's back, and he's working in California, and thankfully everything's going good. But, you know, that was really why I made my choice to decommit, and the coaches really understood that, and I thank them for that. And like I said, that's what made me stay a little bit longer here in stay in California to help my family out. So
thank you so much for sharing that with us. And
yeah, no doubt.
You know, that definitely, it's eye-opening for a number of reasons. And, you know, here on Playmaker's Corner, we like to talk social issues as well. Our episode 0 was addressing protests that happened during this past week of August.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, there's definitely a lot of layers to also making a decision about school, right?
Oh,
and
definitely.
You know, I feel like a lot of kids can take away something from what you just said, right? Where it's like, you know, because for me, like, initially when I was deciding on a school, obviously the football part was involved for me.
Yeah.
But, like, at first I wanted to move out of state.
Right.
But then it's also nice having your family right there, whether that's you wanting to see them, or in your case, helping them out and supporting and sustaining the family.
Exactly.
So, there's a lot of levels to a decision, and
Definitely.
I appreciate you sharing that with not only the audience but with me as well. And I have a lot of respect for you, and like before I respected you too, but
Definitely.
a lot more, and I feel like I understand you a lot more. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, no problem, man. If I know I'm able to help somebody out there and they can hear my story, it's obviously beneficial for both of us. So
yeah,
it's awesome.
So you decommit to Arkansas, and you decide that you're going to go to JUCO at sorry, what was the name again?
Los Angeles Valley College.
Los Angeles Valley College. You said in North Hollywood. So what did that look like from there? Did you stay at home and then commute for classes and football? Or I guess kind of take us through your JUCO experience now, kind of turning the page.
So yeah, like you said, turning the page now to my JC route. It was fun, man. Probably the two best years I've ever had. So my freshman year, like I said, my father was back. Thank God, everything worked out, and I was able to help him out. And so talking with the coaches and everything, and we were stacked, man. We were stacked with players. We had, I'm like, this is my first year, and it's springtime, and spring is like Christmas for us junior college players because we're consistently getting coaches there maybe twice a day of, coach from here, a coach from there, and it's every day just getting the new coach, and those spring practices were very important. So I never really realized like how important they were until like, you're practicing and you see UCLA just watching you, or a coach from wherever they're from is just, wow, like you don't have that at high school, especially not mine. I mean, there probably are some high schools out there, but definitely not mine. So, you start maturing a little bit. You start like, okay, I'm gonna have to take this a little bit more serious. Junior college is not easy, man. I'll tell you that for sure. Thankfully for me, I got a lot of help from, FAFSA, which is the government that helps with the money and stuff like that. So I was able to go to school for free. So, but I did have to commute. It was like, man, when I tell you, with no traffic, probably like 15 minutes. But in the morning, I always had classes because we had practice in the afternoon. So, we're talking about an hour and a half just to get to class, just to get back from class. And, once we're done with practice, it's already like 6, 7 when people are coming out of work. And if you know Los Angeles, the 405 freeway is just massively packed every single day from morning to dawn. It's just packed every single time. So, it was cool. It wasn't that bad of a commute, but it was tiring. I had a lot of teammates from out of states. It's tough, man, because I've personally gotten asked from a lot of players, hey man, can I stay at your house, or do you have a spot to stay in? It was either these guys paid for food or they paid for rent, one of the two, or they weren't going to eat for a while. So I remember walking into one of my boys' apartment a while ago, and from a 2-bedroom apartment, you have like almost 12 guys in there. So it's definitely a struggle. And California doesn't offer scholarships. So, and why, I couldn't tell you. I don't know on top of my head, but funding, maybe, whatever it is, but they don't offer scholarships. So you definitely got to find your way around. We see now those last chance U's and things like that. I think we finally got a little bit taste of what Laney College had to go through, and seeing those guys that some were sleeping in their cars or things like that. That's true, man. That's true. I've seen those happen. I've heard of dudes that had to sleep at parks. Some of my boys had to do that. They had to sleep at parks, and they had to come the next day, ready to go for practice. And every Tuesday, this is why I love my coaches to death, because every Tuesday they try to provide a meal for us, whether it was bringing in pastries, bread, any type of ham, meat, whatever it was. They were always just trying to find a way just to help us out. And I think junior college is very humbling, very humbling. It's definitely a place where you look to persevere. It's an amazing experience that I went through, and that others I was able to go, have that same experience with my other teammates. So entering the season, we're the team, man. We're the talk of the town, and before I got there, we already had won 2 championships back to back. But we're looking to go undefeated this year. So first game win, and our mentality was 1-0 every week. 1-0 every week, 1-0 every week. And it was winning practice. It was winning that part of practice, so the game is just easy for us. It would hit Saturday, W. We went 11-0 my freshman year. It was an awesome experience. Some coaches got new offers to other places. Other things started happening. Now I'm entering my sophomore year, and like I said in the beginning of this, so that spring part is like Christmas for us, man. So we start getting those coaches coming in. Now I'm starting to get looked at, and I'm starting to get talked about, and they're looking like, yo, like this dude was playing guard, left guard, right tackle, left tackle. So he's moving around everywhere. So I'm starting to get looks at here and there. I'm little Division 2 offers, NAIA offers. So they're starting to come in. It's looking cool. It's looking real nice. Then from there, so I start entering my sophomore season, which was not what we expected. We actually went 4-0 the beginning of the season, and then we just went flat down. Like, just because a lot of pointing fingers, a lot of things started happening. We actually had a couple dudes that got incarcerated because of certain problems they were getting into. And like I said, junior college, man, is, especially in California, it's a struggle. Some dudes have kids. Some dudes aren't to mess with. And some dudes are doing stuff that they're not supposed to be doing. But it's the hustle, man. You gotta find your way out. You gotta crawl. You gotta scratch any way you can, and to find your way to, whether it's to get a scholarship or to get a better job or whatever it is. But that's why junior college, what I love about it, it provides you another 2 years to get, whether your grades up, to get more film if you didn't have that film in high school. It's to get what you didn't get in high school. So, like I said, sophomore season didn't go as planned. We went 11-0 my freshman year. Sophomore season of my JC year, it didn't go well. We finished at I think 4 and something. I forgot, 4 and 5 or something like that. We finished the season. Started talking with my coaches, and they're like, "Look, you have these guys talking about you, okay? But I'm not, as a junior college guy, you start getting worried, man. Your second year, because you're like, damn, like you're expecting to get offers, out of the gate, and it's just not happening." And I had a pretty good freshman year. I had some pretty good film, and it's just nothing's coming out. So I made my highlights from my freshman and sophomore year, and little by little, I started getting more exposure, and I started getting I think my first Division 1 offer was Delaware State. It was HBCU, and just more started coming, man. Abilene Christian, Incarnate Word. I just started getting a bunch. I think I had six Division 1 offers, and then the University of Northern Colorado. I got one of the coaches came down to the office, and like they usually do, they come down to the office, they interact with the kids, they talk with you. Hey, what are you looking to major in? What position do you play? What can you do? Can you play this for us? Trying to interact, know a little bit about you, who your family members are, so on and so forth. So, coach comes in, and I don't really want to name his name, I want to keep that out of here, but comes in the office and, hey, Martin, we're really interested in you. We want to we want to get you out there, man. We want to get you out there. So the only thing I don't like about the recruiting process, especially in junior college, that they're waiting for those high school players to see if they're gonna sign or not. So you're kind of left like, you know, those candies on Halloween that you get in the bag that you're just like, like, I don't really know if I want this. But don't get me wrong, there are some players that, you know, that they're gonna take that chance on at junior college. But like I said, I didn't have too much exposure where I felt like that's where I was sitting at. So yeah, you know, I'm waiting to see if UNC is gonna offer, and just nothing, man. Nothing was popping up. So I was like, dang, like, okay. Finally, I think I got like some other offers for some other school. Oh, it was actually Abilene Christian. So my coach calls me, my offensive line coach, and calls me and says, hey, here at UNC, he says, hey, we're looking to give you 50% of a scholarship. And easy as this, I know how the recruiting process goes. So I was literally like, oh, thank you, I appreciate it, but no, I'm good. If you guys offer me full ride, then maybe we can talk. Business is business, man. Straight up. When you get to this level, business is business no matter what. So I hit my junior I talked to Abilene Christian, and I'm going there. Like, I'm, you know, talk to the coach, hey coach, like, you guys offer me a full ride, like, this is where I'm going. Like, and I'm planning to sign like the week after. The next day, I get a call from my offensive line coach here at UNC. Hey Martin, we have a full ride now, you know, and we have a stipend, and the stipend is a monthly check that football players get. You know, it's not that easy to just, we don't just get it just like that, but it's a monthly check that we help out our rent for our food and things like that. So I was like, that's a different word, coach. So I was like, okay. I was like, I'm sold. I was like, I'll sign with you guys. I was like, this is good. Did I ever take a visit here? Nope. Did I even tell my family the day of? Nope. Like, I got home, said, Mom, I'm going to Colorado in like 2 months, 3 months. And that's where I'm gonna go. I had already took 4 visits to other schools, and there was actually, like I said, Abilene Christian was like right there. They were a school that was on me, and it was somebody where I was gonna go with. But I was waiting to see if UNC was gonna give me that visit, which they didn't. But like I said, I was sold, because not only did I get a full ride here, but they also offer money to give you for your groceries, whatever it is. And I knew with that money, I was able to help, like, at least my family back home or something from it. But like I said, and I saw a major that they had here, which that's where I met Kodey, the SCS program. And yeah, we, you know, talked with my father, my mother, my sister too. And that's how UNC came about, man. And I've never ever I never regret signing, because I think here I've met, I met 2 of my best friends here, brothers. And I can't actually here as well. I met my business partner here, which, you know, go follow Kemet on IG.
Heck yeah, plug it.
Yeah, plug it in. Yeah, got to, man. Yeah, Kemet. But yeah, you know, I met my business partner out here, a couple of my best friends, and I don't regret anything. I think my football career has been absolutely amazing. I thank everybody who's there, and actually, I actually want to shout out my, which is my girlfriend back home, Juliana, and my parents. Amazing, man. It's, you know, like I said, what I was talking about earlier about having an immigrant father, you always have. Moving out to Colorado was kind of tough, because I mean, obviously it's a little bit closer from Texas, where I was going to be at, but you know, moving out to Colorado, no matter where, moving out of the state was going to be tough, because, you know, my mom's diabetic, my dad's an immigrant, and it's just tough, man. You gotta it's kind of, you got to learn how to adapt. But I think every single time I went back home, I just never wanted to leave, man. I was just like, damn, like, and plus, here in Greeley, man, it's not that fun, but hey, it is what it is, and I'm only here for school and football, so that's all that really matters. But when it came down to it, family's just everything for me, and I don't have no regrets. I think if it wasn't for those people that I named, like my girlfriend and my parents, I wouldn't be able to be here. I went through a lot being out here, man. It's not easy. Junior college was nowhere near easier, because you get towards that end of the month and you're just like, man, like, you're getting close to school ending your sophomore year, and you're like, this might be over. This might be over, and you don't know if you're gonna get any scholarship. You don't know if you're gonna end up anywhere. And some of my guys that I play with, spectacular group of guys. Some of them just didn't get their offers. Some of them, that was it for them. 2 years of football, of junior college, and that's it. And I was grateful enough to be able to get the offers I did and play for another 2 years. Due to COVID, obviously, I actually lost my senior year this year. They did move it to the spring, but I graduate in December. So it was they kind of effed me over a little bit, but it is what it is, man. And I end up taking I talked with my trainer, and I actually had a torn meniscus. So I end up going through surgery. I'm actually at a month now, so soon be walking on my feet. But it was definitely an experience that, if somebody can hear it out there and they realize, like, hey, like, I had that same experience as that dude, like, at least somebody can hear me out. Just keep grinding, man. Make it through. Don't stop, because at the end of the day, you end up where you want to. Hopefully you end up where you want to be. And full ride was everything for me. My parents don't have the money to pay, what is it, like $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year to be paying for school. Like, nah, we don't have that, man. I'm from LA. I'm from Northridge. I mean, you could look it up. It's not that, you have to be back in your homes at like 10 p.m. because of how, like, weird that neighborhood was. It's not a good neighborhood. And like I said, you're around people that aren't doing good stuff, and that's another big reason why I was kind of happy with moving out, because sometimes going back home wasn't the best thing. And being here, I feel a lot safer. I'm around good people, and sometimes going back home, sometimes I'm not. But like I said, my family is everything for me, and man, I'm ready to graduate and go back home, man. I'm ready to. But yeah, man, that's really sums up a lot of my football story. So
yeah, and I appreciate you sharing it. And yeah, I didn't have to use too many of the guiding questions, really, because you hit a lot of the nails on the head. I guess this is kind of a side note, but from the sounds of it, it sounds like there is a bit of, I don't want to call it haggling, because it's like it's not an item, right? But there is some negotiating as far as like the recruitment process goes. Is that like a pretty common thing? Or you like go back and forth a little bit?
Yeah, because like I said, it's business, and these dudes can take up to a month, 2 months, and it's like you keep taking a lollipop out of a kid's mouth, and you teasing him with it, like, and they're just consistently just, okay, we'll get back to you, or like I said, out of my junior college, I had people from University of Akron. I had University of UCLA talking to me. I had top schools, but once my season started ending and they just saw we weren't winning, they just, all right, well, let's move on to the next guy. And that's how it is, man. It's like I said, business is business, and they keep it business, because every time when they're recruiting, they're looking for somebody that's better than you. So, and if they don't find that, they're on to the next person. They're on to the next school. So, definitely, do I think like these coaches sometimes are like, Like, hey man, just keep it to the point. We're in junior college. Either you want me or you don't. And that's where I think, in high school, you have 4 years and things like that. Some of us don't. Some of us in junior college, we have a year. We have 2 more years left. That's all we got. We don't have another 4 more years of high school to try to do it again. And even before the podcast, I was telling you about the funny story of, my advisor only telling me about, barely telling me about the NCAA rules like my senior year. So that's another real reason why I had to go the junior route. But like I said, these coaches keep it business, man, and sometimes it's just, hey, either you want to offer us or don't. So, but thankfully, my part worked out good.
Still,
yeah, exactly, yeah, thankfully, man.
Yeah.
But,
speaking of coaches, what do you think that going to JUCO helped round you out more as a football player because of like the coaches there versus high school coaches? So I guess like, what's the quality of coaches at the JUCO level, and did that also help you out as far as getting offers and improving as a football player?
Oh yeah, most definitely. So we actually at LA Valley, we actually got like a new facility, new weights and stuff. So I was able to develop, man, to the max. Coach White, one of my former coaches, love that dude to death. He, was an animal when it came into the weight room and helped me so much to where I am now, being explosive, coming off the ball, having power that I never used to have. And I think what junior college offers is, man, improving yourself, and able, like I said, and you got to go with struggles too. And I think that's another thing that really pushed me as well, is those struggles and surpassing that, and just, but definitely going that route, the junior college route, definitely made me a better player, humbled me a lot more. What else? Yeah, man, just, it was a great experience. And when it came to recruiting, I think the coaches in junior college helped me a lot more. They really made a full list of the guys, that of the coaches actually, and they sent out my tape to like all the coaches that they had on their list, over like 100 and something coaches. And some coaches reply, some coaches don't. And sometimes with coaches, if you're not 6'0" and above playing offensive line, they really don't give 2 craps about you. So that's, and the difference from high school, high school I was really actually trying to put myself out. The coaches really weren't helping me, and not because I don't blame them for not helping me. It's just, like I said, we didn't have those sources, and my high school wasn't just
it's just what it was.
Exactly. So but I had to do my own thing, and I went to camps that, try to expose myself and things like that, trying to show myself out, and, running the 40s in high school and things like that. But definitely when I got to junior college, these coaches helped me that much more. It's a whole different thing, whether it's come to in the weight room, school, putting us out to other coaches and trying to, seeing like, literally like physically showing us like, hey, these are the coaches that we're gonna send it out to. Boom, and they'll send the message like in front of your face. So that's what they provided for us.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Sweet. That sounds really hopeful, and at least from what I've seen, watching some Last Chance U, I haven't finished the Laney season yet.
Right.
But and from what you've said, I feel like there's like an understanding with JUCO coaches, right? That a lot of players are trying to go beyond JUCO.
Exactly.
So, I think that's something that needs to be heard by some kids, where it's like, do I want to play JUCO? And it's like, hearing your story, as well as we also have had Sam's interview happen.
Actually, it's funny. First game ever, man. My freshman year, we actually played against Sam.
No way.
Yeah. He went to Ventura, and man, he knows that we put that whooping on him. But yeah, we actually played against each other. It was a dope game. My first ever college game. It was dope. We played at their house. Beautiful stadium that they have. But yeah, we actually played against Sam. That's cool.
That's funny. And a small world that you guys both end up going to UNC,
Exactly,
right?
yep.
So, but
Crazy.
It's just good to hear, it works out for you guys, and, especially you are provided with resources from the coaches, and they're trying to help you. I guess kind of in conclusion, not like in conclusion, but what's it been like at UNC, as far as football goes, and what kind of doors did JUCO open up for you, I mean, obviously it allowed you to come to UNC and FCS Division I school.
Right.
Would you say that JUCO also opened up opportunities as far as education goes? You already talked about how you met your business partner here, so like, how many avenues were opened up by going to JUCO first and then going to UNC?
Man, so many. I met a lot of people. Met a lot of people like we just talked about. Some of my, not only, I mean, in JUCO, I met like a lot of people that are doing their own businesses now. So, if I want to hit up one of my boys, hey man, what's going on with this? But when it came down with like, what sources they were able to provide for me it was a lot more than high school, really. Grades wise too, I was able to really up my grades a lot more in junior college. I feel like because you just get more help. For me, like I said, my high school wasn't the best high school, so I was able to get a lot more sources, tutors, and we had, study hall, and we were able to get those hours. And we had mandatory hours, but thankfully, I was hitting that GPA where I didn't need to be there anymore. But my coaches were definitely strict with that. Hey, if you don't go, you don't play. If you don't go, you're not practicing. You know what I mean? So definitely they provided a lot more, where it came down to tutors, where it came down to helping you off of campus, or, trying to find a spot for you in a house, but coming out of high school, I don't even remember my GPA, to be honest with you, but I definitely walked out of my sophomore year of my junior college with like a 3 point something. So that was a huge improvement, and that's huge for colleges. That's huge for colleges. If you're able to show that and you can play football, it's easy. It's easy to recruit you. If you have some really good film, if you're really, really good player, but you don't have the grades, they're gonna skip to the next person because they know they can find that same ability in somebody else with the better grades. So I feel like junior college really provided me with a lot more, materials, outside of football, whether it was, when it came down, like I said, tutoring and all those things, and just things that didn't happen in my high school. So
yeah, those are monumental, and
definitely,
a reminder to, some potential future college athletes to do your homework. It pays off. It's part of being an athlete. So
study, man, tutoring, and to be realistic with you, and I think maybe you can put your point on this too, but if you have tutors, if you have all this stuff, and there shouldn't be a way that you fail a class. Honestly, I feel like if you put your full effort, you really have to. I feel like being in college, if you're not giving your full effort, you're not gonna pass the class. Like, just do what you got to do and you're gonna pass. Like, go to class, find your tutors, get some help. Like I said, for me and Kodey were in like half of my classes, so sometimes we would go study sometimes, or we would go hang out sometimes, whatever it was, and he would help me out. And find that person, or
it's way more collaborative.
Yeah, honestly.
In college, and like I think that's something that high schoolers don't get the chance to do as much as study with other people, reach out to other people. It's it's fine. Like, I don't think, and it sounds like not at your high school, but not at my high school either. It wasn't like make a study group.
No,
like I didn't even think of that till like it was past the point where I needed it, But in college, it's like, meet up with people, go through this. We have this, and this for you, and like. Yeah, I definitely agree. It's different and better at the same time.
Yeah, it's just high school is just, all right, well, go do your homework. All right, have fun. And then you go, and me as a Mexican, my Mexican parents, man, they got that belt right next to you. Hey, if you don't do your homework, hey, man, they're about to whoop you. But it's just high school just didn't provide that, man. And plus, for a lot of us, we had practice after school, so once after practice you're tired, so you want to go home and you still got to do homework. You don't have those study groups. You don't have tutoring. I mean, yeah, but now you got to come out of your pocket and you got to pay people. Nah, it's just here in college. I mean, for me, for my JC, we were mandatory and they provided that. So that's a lot of that was huge. That's huge for us. The school part is the biggest part, because I know dudes my freshman year with amazing talent, but they didn't do the school part. So where'd they end up going? Where what my coach used to call is something, the home university, something like that. But you basically you don't go anywhere in your home because of school, man. You have the physical ability to do everything and play so many spots, and you ended up screwing it over because of school when it's right there in front of you.
Yeah.
And I just feel like high school just didn't provide that at all. So a lot of things, honestly, even with the NCAA, like I talked about earlier, I didn't even know what freaking requirements I needed. So, and then, like I said, you get to JC, hey, this is what you need for the NCAA, this is what you need for school, and this is what you need to get here. Or if you want to get here, this is what you need. You know what I mean? So for me, I had to do 2 years at junior college. Some dudes already have the requirements coming out of the NCAA. I mean, coming out of high school with the NCAA, they already have the requirements. So some dudes, I literally seen some dudes just go in during spring and they're out, like, at their college. So that's huge. You get in there, you already got picked up, and you still have all that time, probably another 4 years to go play at a university.
Dang, that's
so,
nice.
For me, I was limited because, like I said, I had to go 2 years, which is okay, it was perfectly fine. But that put me to only 2 years at a university, so.
Nice.
But, yeah, pretty much.
So, this is a huge change of pace and a bit more X's and O's thing, but just going to do some football talk, reacting to your highlight reel, and then we'll conclude here. But
sounds good.
First off, you're 320?
Was
320?
I'm about. I mean, right now, dude, I've been laying in my bed, man. It's quarantine. I'm a little bit bigger. I'm probably like 330 right now.
Really?
But yeah, my height, my JC highlights, I was about like 315, 320. Yeah. So.
I mean, it looks way more normal, I guess, when you're 6'5". I was like, no way, dang! Like, and we're sitting down in class all the time too, So I don't really get to see it as much. But I was like, oh my gosh, he really is a big dude. But and then
I mean, hopefully that was the coach's reactions too,
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So that was a good eye grabber there at the beginning of the video.
Oh, yeah.
And I just say I watched it with my buddy Simon. He, if you ever listen to the podcast, he's the guy who's always like, yeah, back in Texas, you know, so live, breathe, and sleep football, forever. And he's worked with some big names. He played against Kyler Murray back in the day.
Oh, okay.
And what was the other guy? I think Rex Burkhead, that running back for the Patriots, also is like in his community. But we talked through, and we were blown away by, like you said, your ability to play anywhere on the line.
Right.
Really good pass blocking because, I mean, we've watched some film on, high school offensive linemen, and usually they're just big. Right. So it's not that their pass blocking is great, like technique-wise. It's just the defensive linemen they go against, they just shove them to the ground.
No, yeah.
You had both going for you, so.
I think, you talk about sources like we were talking about earlier. That's another thing. Coaching. I didn't. Pass blocking, run blocking, when it came to pass blocking in high school, man, my head was down every single time. And I still have those highlights from my high school, but I would be hitting with my head all the time. And then when you get to junior college and, you get those coaches, those, big time, like coaches that have coached at Division I programs, whatever. But my junior college coach was like, dude, you got to get your head out of your damn, you got to get your head out, you're going to freaking have a concussion or you're going to be brain damaged by the end of the season. Get your head up. And it's just those little things took my ability of football to a whole new level, and a big ups to the football camps that I used to go to in high school, because I learned a lot about those too. But I think my junior college coaches had to do a lot with that, because if not, like I said, that was the highlights you guys watched. So that's the reason why.
You said I didn't send you my high school film.
Nah, heck no, hell no. I mean, they're all right. It's okay.
Yeah,
they were there.
And, another thing that we talked about was we loved you finishing your blocks. I'm assuming that's something that probably carried over from high school, or is that another thing that the coaches helped you kind of develop? Man,
I'm gonna be completely honest. I was just when I play football, man, I know it may sound I'm there to kill people, man. I want to put people on their asses, man. Offensive line is legit like no other. You read the defensive line, the linebackers, and I was when it came to playing and practicing, and I can literally have players, even some of my roommates here in my house now, testify like Martin is a crazy son of a B word. Like, they can literally testify that, because every single time I wanted to play, I was either into to hurt somebody or just to put them on every single play. And like I said, for junior college, those highlights were so important to me that if I didn't put somebody on there, I messed up that play and I took a play away from somebody else on the sideline. So by what I mean by that is I'm wasting reps. So I want to be able to make every rep count, every pass pro count, every run block count, because if not, one of my boys that's sitting on the sideline that needs those reps too for their film, I just for them. But it's the truth. If I was on the sideline and I seen, Coach, what is this dude doing? He's not even putting people on their ass. I could do that for you, And that's the thing with JC, you don't want to be wasting reps, man. You want to get as many people on their ass, as many people, as many good pass pros as you can get, because once your last game is over, that's it. You don't have no more film ever again. That's it. Whatever film you've made to that point, that's it. And you're done. And that's why every single game I play with a passion. Every single game I've played with a passion. And like I said, I've always had that thought of my mom and my dad always in my head. And sometimes I just be, if my quarterback or my running back, it's my mom back there, so they're not touching my mother. So I've always had that anger, let's put some people on their asses, man. Let's play football. I get another game to show my talent, show my ability. So, but man, on the field, I was honestly a different breed. People know me as, I'm a quiet, and not quiet, but hey, I'm a cool dude off the field and whatnot. But you want to play one-on-ones, you want to mess around with me when it's game day? Nah, man. Even during practice, man, I was a crazy ass dude too. But definitely, I definitely took advantage of every single play when I was on the field, whether it was my junior college, high school, even here at UNC. So
that's a strong mentality to have.
Oh, yeah.
Every snap, right?
Every snap, man, because I literally learned this year, because you never know when it's your last. Like I said, I have no regrets, because I went down to man, I was just trying to just dog people, and by the time you know it, my football career is over now. So I'm not sitting here saying, oh man, I didn't go hard that play, or I didn't go hard. Nah, I went 100% every single play, and my coaches knew that. That's why they recruited me. That's why they wanted me, because that's just the way my mentality was.
Yeah. So, and that's a mentality others can take away from. So.
Definitely.
And last little bit of chalk talk.
Yeah.
Had to ask to clarify. Not trying to at you or anything.
Okay.
Noticed the handful of chop blocks. Were those by design in the playbook, or was that depending on the opponent and the speed that was coming sometimes?
So
you started laughing. So I think you've had this conversation before, from what it sounds like.
So high school, we're not allowed to chop block. So junior college, college level, you're allowed to chop block. So my coach was just, man, when you guys get the opportunity, go take out somebody's legs, somebody's knees, something. So it was usually on screens. So some of the screens, man, I'm coming down, flying down and just looking for these corners to hit. I'm looking for these linebackers to just, take out. And I've actually taken out some of them from like the games, but definitely like it's a rush when you get a run down the field and you just smack one of these little corners and just cut them, and you see your running back running right by you. That's the best feeling ever. But yeah, man, I mean, it was fun. Whoever I heard out there, I'm sorry, but not sorry. But definitely cut blocks are fun.
Okay, they're fun. You heard it here first. Cut blocks are fun. Well, that does it for all my film questions. We've heard your story, and I guess just kind of wrap things up.
Yep.
What would you advise to, whether it's high school athletes that are getting looked at the collegiate level or the JUCO level, or JUCO people or amateur sports players or athletes, what would be like your lasting advice or the number one thing that they should take away from this, or a few things?
Keep going, man. Just keep going. Keep pushing. We all have struggles. Me and Kodey have our own stories. Other players from my other colleges have their own stories. Make your story. Be the best you can be. And just know you never know when it's your last rep. I for sure didn't know this pandemic was gonna happen. And I took my last rep when it was in spring, and that was my last time ever playing football. So keep it pushing. Know that if you're an high school athlete, don't ever be scared to go the junior college route. Don't be scared, just because your friends, whether they're making fun of you or because you didn't get the offers you wanted, just know that junior college route does give you another, whether it's a year or 2 years of opportunity to make you better as a player, mentally, physically, and yeah, man, just keep it pushing. Don't be scared to go the JC route. And for you high school players, just because you guys are the stars there, don't think you're gonna be the stars at your next school, because like I said, just like they found you, they're gonna find somebody who plays better than you. And that's what I think where a lot of us mess up, where we think we're the best player when we go to junior college. I didn't start, man. My JC, I didn't start my first 4 games because I had players that were better than me. But like I said, I've always had that dog mentality. When I came to practice, I was gonna whoop everybody's, and I did. And my coach kept telling people, hey, Martin's right on your guys'. If you guys keep messing up, we're gonna throw him in. You guys better stop. And they didn't believe it. Finally, my 5th week in, bam, I get my starting position. And from there, nobody ever took it from me, because like I said, I showed it on the field, showed it at practice, and I didn't stop. I continued, and it led me here, and I thank God for it every single day, because I know there's somebody out there, whether it's one of my old boys or somebody at a junior college, that didn't get the same opportunity as I have. So all I can say is keep pushing. I say it a lot, find your why, and I believe my why was my parents. And just know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So just keep going, man. Keep pushing. It'll be good. So
sweet. That's great advice, and keep pushing. That's something that you can apply in sport, out of sport, and everywhere in between. So Martin, thank you so much for joining us on this podcast. We'll stay in touch. You and I will.
Definitely. You already know, man.
If the listeners want to give you a follow on the gram.
Yeah, so my IG is @_Martin, which is ESE_Martin, MARTIN. And I actually have a athletic apparel business as well. It's at Kemet Official, KEMET Official. And the link is in my bio on my regular Instagram as well. So you guys click on there and give us a follow. And if any of you would like to reach out and let me know whatever you're going through, hey, I'm more than welcome to help anybody out, because I know I needed that help at some point too. So
Thank you, Martin. We appreciate that.
Thank you guys
And
so much.
that does it for this episode of Playmaker's Corner podcast. Once again, if you have any film of any high school or JUCO athletes that you want to send in for us to review, we will do that. If you know anyone who wants to share their story, also send that in, their contact information, and we'll get the ball rolling on that. But that does it for this episode of Playmaker's Corner podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you guys.